Welcome back everyone, it's Dr. Nick here. The next topic in our NutriFit webinar series is called Effective Food Shopping, which is one of the most important aspects to master when starting your journey towards nutrition success. The first step to becoming a powerful food shopper is writing a menu plan for the week. This involves using recipes from books at home or sourcing recipes from the internet to put together a list of meals for either a 1 week or possibly 2 week period. To help develop your menu plan, it is highly recommended that you create a list of meals according to the main ingredient used, such as red meat, chicken, pork, seafood or vegetarian. You can then menu plan easily by selecting dishes from each category so there's a good mix of meals for that 1 week period or 2 week period. While many claim that menu planning is a time-consuming process, having all your meals and ingredients planned out in advance really helps you to save time and potentially money in the long run, as you'll typically have fewer visits to the supermarket and ideally no more last-minute runs for that key food item you need. Once you've got your food plan, eating plan prepared, place it on the fridge so it's clearly visible. Now here are some Nutri-Tips to help you out as well. Firstly, make sure that all recipes are consistent with the NutriFit 5 eating strategies that you can access in the Nutrition Success book. Secondly, that meals are not excessively high in fat and that they have plentiful amounts of vegetables. Thirdly and importantly, that you check ingredients for the sugar content and avoid high sugar sauces such as tomato sauce, and even watch for things like balsamic vinegar, which has sugar. And also check for or make sure you don't add any added sugar to your meals. And lastly, make sure that you have the cooking expertise to prepare the dishes that you've planned, and that the meals are all within your ingredients, are within your food shopping budget. Okay, so the next step now to be effective at food shopping is to have a shopping list. You see, food shopping is a targeted event and your key weapon is a shopping list. To create a shopping list, you need to start firstly at home base, which is the kitchen. Now, here are a few ideas to create your shopping list. Firstly, make sure that when you use up items, they go immediately onto your shopping list. Secondly, that you do an audit of your pantry, your fridge, your cupboard, and make sure that you've got all the key supplies that you need. And lastly, as we just covered, that you've got all the ingredients for the recipes that you're going to cook, and they're on your shopping list as well. Now the third step here is navigating the minefield of a supermarket. So for those of you that do shop in store, here are a couple of key things before you get to the supermarket. Firstly, that you're familiar with the supermarket you're going to, and secondly, that you've had something to eat, because I imagine many of you know what it's like to go food shopping hungry and you buy more food. Okay, so in the supermarket you enter typically into the fresh fruit and veggie aisle, and make sure you select an abundance of colourful fruits and vegetables, because this will give you the phytochemicals, or these really beneficial compounds that help to boost your health and prevent diseases like heart disease and diabetes, and can help lower blood cholesterol. Once you've got plentiful amounts of fruit and veg in your shopping trolley, you then typically head through to the meat section, where you're looking for lower fat meats ideally. Avoid the lots of meat with visible fat, so like lamb chops or streaky bacon, and watch out for the hidden fats, which you'll find in things like sausages and salami and luncheon. You might next visit the delicatessen section. Here look for lower fat dairy products like your light cheese, cottage cheese and Edam cheese. But also be mindful of the sugar content, particularly in yogurt. The fruit flavoured yogurts are high in sugar. My recommendation is the Greek yogurt. Whilst a bit higher in fat, the sugar content is ideal, around 5 to 7 grams per 100. So then we enter into the most challenging part of food shopping, the aisles, where most of the packaged foods are found. Here people find reading labels very time consuming and confusing. However, if you're familiar with the language used and understand the key information you're looking for, having the right food choice becomes quite easy, and you can really start to make progress towards achieving nutrition success. So with regards to labels, here are the 3 key aspects. Firstly, look for allergy information. Secondly, look at the ingredients list. And thirdly, look at the nutrition information panel. With allergies, most know if they have an allergy, but if you're not sure, do get that checked. Key ingredients causing allergies are nuts, eggs, milk, gluten and soy, and fish. So look out for those products. With the ingredients list, here you see a list of items from greatest to smallest by weight. And at the end of that list, you want to be aware of these dangerous chemicals that can cause a number of adverse side effects. And they are listed, appear in 4 key categories, which are, firstly, flavour enhancers, and particularly look out for 621, which is monosodium glutamate, or MSG. Your colourings, so that's tartrazine 102 or sunset yellow 110. Preservatives, there's a few of them here. Benzenoate, so then the 210 group. Nitrates you find in ham and salami and those foods. They're in the 250s group. And then your sulfates, dried fruit might have 220, and even in the 280s they can cause problems. And then finally sweetness. 951 aspartame, be mindful of that. 952, which is your cyclamate, and 954 saccharin. So now you're ready for looking at the nutrition information panel. So provided that you've passed the additives test, there's no dangerous chemicals, you can now look at the panel, which gives a whole host of information, and you want to go firstly to the 100 gram column so you can compare across all products. And in here, look firstly whether the food is a protein food or carbohydrate food. And you simply go to the protein amount and check that relative to the carbohydrate amount. And if it's a protein food, this is more ideal at any time. If it's a carbohydrate food, it is best post-exercise. And that's something we covered in the previous webinar on fundamental nutrition philosophies. So now the final aspect is to look at some of the other key aspects of the nutrition panel. Taking a look at the energy content, you'll see you can have there are categories from low to high. Somewhere around the 500 kilojoules per 100 is low, anything over 2000 kilojoules is high, and you just want to be mindful of how much you consume of that type of product. For fats, total fats, anything greater than 20 grams is getting high, and 10 grams for saturated is also high. For carbohydrate, anything up to 10 grams is a low, what we call carbohydrate density, and that can be food can be consumed at any time. But then you move up into the high category, anything over 50 grams, and this would be, say, for example, breakfast cereal, which is best post-exercise. Then you want to be aware of sugars, really important here. Anything greater than 20 grams is definitely on the high side. But ideally you want to be less than 10 grams, and certainly around that 5, which is moving into the low category, that's ideal. And it's the sugar content that's so abundant in food today, and really start looking at that, and I'm sure you'll be quite surprised at how many foods contain sugar. For example, a can of baked beans has 30 grams of sugar, or around 6 teaspoons. Also be aware of fibre. Greater than 6 grams is a good amount of fibre. And then lastly, sodium content. For those who perhaps have high blood pressure or hypertensive, you want to be checking this, and greater than 500 milligrams per 100 is high. So there we go, folks. That's our food shopping webinar. I hope that's been of some value for you. And do take action now. Look at labels when you go shopping or even at home. I hope you tune into the next webinar. We're going to look at should you supplement. This will help clarify all of the myths and the fallacies and the scaremongering that goes on in the media around nutritional supplementation. So until then, all the best. Look forward to having you on board soon. Bye for now.